This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. This meeting is an in-person meeting held at 870 Colfax. Questions may be submitted beforehand to liz.goodwin@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment sections as indicated in the agenda. Board members may be contacted through the emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may be sent to liz.goodwin@bhas.org. I call this meeting to order officially at 5:34 p.m. We will begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing on the agenda is roll call. Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes,
Trust-
present.
Vice President Bradley, Secretary Triplett, present, Treasurer Creighton, Trustee Bowens,
Present.
Trustee Buchanan,
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right, a quorum has been established. Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowens,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, next on the agenda is public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone here for public comment? Hearing none, we will proceed with the agenda this evening. There are no items under board business currently. The first actual item that we have on the agenda falls under business and finance concerning staff report F1, the state aid anticipation note resolution. And I will pass the floor to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Reason for board consideration. Many public school districts in Michigan, including Benton Harbor Area Schools, borrow funds through the Michigan Finance Authority for operating purposes each August. Facts analysis to provide adequate cash flow for operating purposes during the upcoming fiscal year and to protect against cash flow risks. It's recommended that the district borrow funds through the Michigan Finance Authority State Aid Anticipation Note Program. Participation in the program provides school districts with access to competitive borrowing rates. This type of borrowing is called a state aid anticipation note because it includes a pledge to repay the funds with state aid. The borrowing amount specified in the attached resolution is a not to exceed amount. The actual borrowing amount will be the lesser of 1, the amount actually needed, 2, statutory limits, 3, the Michigan Finance Authority's limits, and 4, Treasury's approval limits if they're different from 1, 2, and 3. With the state aid note, the district will receive the 2022 note proceeds in mid-August. Then the district would use some of those note proceeds to immediately repay the balance of last year's state aid anticipation note. And then the district would receive the difference in state aid. Then next summer, the district would repay the 2022 state aid note in full. Policy reference is 6145 borrowing. And finally, the recommended action is that the Board of Education approve as presented the 2022 state aid anticipation resolution for a not to exceed amount of $2 million.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report F1?
So moved.
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns from the board regarding staff report F1? All right, hearing none. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report F1?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowens,
Yeah. Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yeah.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Yes, motion.
All right, the motion has passed for staff report F1. Next report we have is staff report F2 regarding the food service contract renewal. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. The reason for board consideration. The district's annual contract with Sodexo Magic LLC will expire June 30, just next week. Facts and analysis: to comply with Michigan Department of Education requirements, school districts with food service management company agreements are required to submit the proposed contract renewal forms to the MDE for review and approval before the renewal contract can be signed by the district. Or for the district, policy reference none. Recommended action is that the Board of Education approve a one-year renewal of the Sodexo Magic LLC food service contract from July 1, 2022 through June 30, 2023, as specified in the attached documents. And this is contingent upon approval by the Michigan Department of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there a motion to approve staff report F2?
So moved.
Second the motion.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding staff report F2? Were you double checking that you didn't have questions, or are you okay? Okay, hearing none, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report F2?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, the motion has passed for staff report F2. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for your presentation this evening. Next, we're going to pass it over to Ms. Gale regarding new hire, staff report H1. You all will notice that it is a I'm missing the term. It's not
Consent agenda.
consent agenda. It is. Okay, so it's a consent agenda. So the new hires are on one report. I'll give you all an opportunity just to ensure that there's no names listed that need to be pulled from staff report H1. If not, I'll allow her to move forward. You have the floor.
I just, if I may.
Go ahead.
Want to say that we do have a full-time recruiter and it shows we're hitting it here. So we're very pleased to present this list, and more is coming.
And
Where's that recruiter at?
He just stepped out, he just stepped
I just
away,
said that.
but he is here.
So can you remind the public and the board who our recruiter is so that we can make sure that it's documented who is making great efforts?
So our very own one and only Marvin McDermott, who got promoted from the HR assistant position. He's getting and gaining great experience in human resources, has been promoted to the full-time recruiter position and is growing in that area.
Awesome.
very
Thank you
pleased
so
about that.
much. All right, you may proceed.
Now I wish he was here to see the support. Submitting for board consideration to approve the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Facts and analysis, it is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for hire of the following personnel: policy reference 3120 and 4120, employment of professional and or support staff. Shannon Hoover as instructional facilitator, Donna Pollins as teacher in training, special education, Ernst Jacques, academic interventionist, DeSamuel Curtis, or I believe it would be Curtis DeSamuel, actually, third grade teacher, and Ryan Burns, PE teacher.
All right, thank you.
Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
I support this. My question is, do you think we'll be on track by September to have majority of our positions filled?
We actually are shooting to, our goal is to be fully staffed by the beginning of the school year. We're very, very aggressively recruiting and interviewing candidates and vetting them. That is the goal, absolutely.
Kudos. Thank
We're
you.
not, I will tell you,
That's great.
if any board members would like to help us out, we are in need of candidates for special education. That is where we have the biggest need. And
I'll email you.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call for the motion and then we'll continue with questions.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve staff report H1?
So moved.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Questions, comments, or concerns? Secretary Triplett.
Just that first, I would like to say congratulations to Mr. McDermott on his new position in the role of recruiting. And it looks good. I'm glad to see on here the majority of these positions that's being filled at Fairplain Middle School, which was a very concerning situation last year that we navigated through. And just appreciate that this focus is going forth. I know when you're talking about teacher recruiting and what have you, also I see on here teacher in training. I would like to, not at this particular juncture, but I would like to follow with you on the status of the teacher in training program, how it looks and what it really is. Also, the principal I hope that the principal are working vigorously to make sure that every position in their individual buildings are filled with certified staff. I know at the end of the year, I mean, right coming into, we get this thing where people say they might get another job and we find out we don't have those things. I would like to recommend, if you will, earlier on in the year, we did have some concerns about people that had been long-term subs in this community. And for whatever reason, they were no longer on the list or what have you. I don't want to go into all of that particular conversation at this particular time. But I would like for you all to go and look at that list of people and have those people ready and invite them back, whatever we need to do. Whatever happened in the past, let that be over. But just to have them people, who have down through the years, because there's a group of people that I know personally that's willing to love our kids, understand our system, and I think the direction that our system is going, that even if they can be included in the training and preparations as we go in. So whether somebody comes into that, do not come into that position, we already have somebody that's ready to fall into the fold in the 11th hour. But again, thank you so very, very much. And I appreciate what I'm seeing here. As it relates to us filling these positions, I do want all of our positions, if at all possible, to be filled by July. If you guys can set that goal for certified teachers. There's a lot of people that will come here and help us as well. Okay, thank you.
July in a week from now?
At the end of July.
Oh, okay.
She has a question.
Go, you can respond.
Thank you, Mr. Triplett. I do want to offer some, I hope is useful information. We are definitely striving to recruit for positions as soon as possible, and certified teachers always take priority over teachers in training. That is just our mandate. Even after positions are filled with teachers in training, they still remain open for certified staff. I just do want to point that out. And Mr. Triplett pointed out that we have a number of teachers who are long-term subs from our community. Every long-term sub, whether from this year or from previous years, has been offered an opportunity to participate in the teacher in training program. The requirements for that are set by our teaching and learning department, and everybody has been invited. So we're going through the process of who qualified and who did not. There are some parameters, but we are trying to be all-inclusive.
There was one thing where I did talk to a teacher who opted out of the teacher in training program because they would get paid less versus being a regular sub. And so that might be something that we might need to look at. It might not be true, but this is one of the concerns. They felt like if they stayed in the long-term sub status, that they did make more money being a long-term sub through EduStaff versus being in our teaching and training program.
So I do want to, the board should have this information. Per pay period, long-term subs through EduStaff are paid daily amount
Yeah.
per pay period, that may end up being slightly more. That is true. However, our teachers in training are paid more per day. Their pay is stretched over a year. So our teachers in training get paid year round. So they actually do get paid more. It is true that per pay period, their amount is slightly smaller, but
Right.
they also get covered over holidays, over break, over
Yeah.
the summer. Their paycheck is steady. They also have retirement benefits through the district. They
Okay.
have health insurance and other ancillary benefits that we offer, while through EduStaff, they do not.
And I think that would be a great thing to get out because, like you said, you might hear something. And, it depends on that individual need. So their money is prorated just like a regular teacher. So it might not appear it might not appear for the 2 weeks that it would be that amount, but they're still getting paid this summer.
That's right.
Right,
And
that
keep in
all-
mind that we had to set our teacher in training pay scale, it's a
Right.
shorter pay. We had to
Yes.
set it below
Yes,
the collective bargaining
Right.
agreement pay scale, because we need them to work towards something so that they would get an increase, not a decrease once they become certified teachers.
right.
So,
Thank you for that clarification, Mrs. Gill.
I just want to say that I think the teacher in training program, the opportunity to provide support to the district and get your training in the process is amazing. And had I known that prior to coming to the board, I probably would have sought employment with the district to become certified because I went to school. I think Secretary Triplett may be one. I know he knows specifically. I went to school to be a teacher and changed my mind in my 4th year. So I'm just not certified. And so if I knew that that was an opportunity that we had at Ben Harbor area schools, I might be in the district working in a different capacity. So I think it's amazing that that's an opportunity. Any other questions or comments?
and
Yeah.
we offer a program that offers accelerated passing of the MTTC test, which would put you on the path, I'm just saying, to
Something.
be a certified.
That's a negative. She's going to stay with us for a few more years.
Secretary Triplett.
I'm not sure if this program is still available, Teach Across America. Some of our graduates, one of my former cheerleaders, she did it for a couple of years, graduated from the University of Michigan. She did this. I don't know if they still have a program in that manner, but they would provide. Have you guys reached out to them? Because they're young people that want to come in and do that type of service and work. I also would like to talk to you all about something that used to happen in the district some years ago. They got in contact with homeowners who had homes for rent, houses for rent. And what the new teachers would do, because the pay was so low, like if they were single, 4 of them might live in the house together. And they divide that rent up, they would break it down. So that might be something that we could think about doing too, because we have to come up with some creative ways to get people to come in here. So if the rent is $800 a month or I'm gonna say 800 because that's easy to divide by 4. So they're paying $200 a month, for their rent, and it doesn't think so. Like Mr. Harvey used to have 4 or 5 different properties, and young teachers would come to the city and they would live in his properties. So these are some things that we look at, being creative. We know what our situation is, but trying to come up with some creative ideas and some ways to encourage people to come to work in our district. So that was just something I wanted to throw out there to our new recruiter, to our chief of HR. You guys might be able to take that into consideration. Is anything that I can do to assist?
Yes, there is.
I
We
will
will
let you-
contact you. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, there is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Secretary Triplett, please call the vote for staff report H1.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowens,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next on the agenda, and it's actually the last and final report, staff report H2, Ms. Gale, regarding this non-represented employee pay scale.
A reason for board consideration: last year, a new pay scale was developed for Benton Harbor area schools employees whose salaries or wages are not determined by a collective bargaining agreement. This evening, it is recommended that the 2022-23 not represented employees pay scale be updated. Facts and analysis: the proposed 2022-23 not representing employee pay scale, which does not include salaries of the superintendent or for the chiefs, has been updated with the following goals: to fulfill the requests from the board members to make BHAS employee pay scale more competitive. 2, to increase the district's ability to recruit and retain employees. 3, to continue providing employees with a path for continued salary growth based on satisfactory performance evaluations and based on experience or longevity with the district. 4, to provide a cost of living increase of 7.5%, which is comparable to recent consumer price index. It's actually lower by now. Increases for current employees. Some employees will also be eligible to receive a step increase. To adjust some positions, number of scheduled work days per year to reflect the current needs of the district, and to make a few other adjustments to fine tune the previously developed 21-22 pay scale. Policy reference 6510 payroll authorization. Recommended action that the Board of Education votes to approve as presented the 2022-23 non-represented employee pay scale effective July 1, 2022.
Is there a motion to approve staff report H2?
So move.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett. Is there support?
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Questions, comments, concerns?
I do like the clarification, because I just sent an email out when it said non-represented without unions, and I did ask why central administration was not on this particular thing, but I do have the understanding, the clarification, that this right here is for the body. I was looking at the number of days. I did not know. I was looking at the high school principal. I might have to get off the board when y'all have an opening. If I get my stuff, that's some good money right there. All that volunteering and stuff, but yeah, that's some really, really, really good money. And looking here, but yeah, I would, is this, I know there was one concern when we talked about, this does not include our EduStaff employees.
It does not include EduStaff employees. We're unable to put EduStaff employees for board discussion or approval because they are not considered our employees. We
Okay.
would, yes, we
Okay.
would be in trouble with the IRS in that
Okay.
case.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
And
comments? Oh,
ORS, I just heard a correction, and ORS, Office of Retirement Systems.
So this right here is just the staff that's in our general fund that we're paying.
That's right, but I do want to make it clear, we're very close to increasing EduStaff employees' pay rates as well.
Thank you.
I do, that's not going to go
Address.
thank you.
all right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowens,
No.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. So we have passed staff report H2, and Ms. Gail, I know you were looking forward to the board approving this so that you can confirm some of the offers that we're waiting or get some more new staff in. And you came in on Secretary Triplett acknowledging you, but Ms. Gail had also done so, and we actually clapped. So we just want to make sure that you hear that.
Bowens clap.
And we hope that us passing this forward as far as the increases will help to make your efforts a lot easier as we try to get great staff here at Benton Harbor area schools. So moving forward, next on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? Hearing none, is there anything that needs to be noted under new business? I would like to note that I am in the process of working to get a contract together for the interim, and we'll be bringing that before the board. Our deadline is July 1st, so we have to do that before June 30th so the person can be ready. So there will more than likely be an additional meeting once we can get something together. Well, it's already in draft form, but get it together. I'll be bringing that back to you guys and trying to figure out your scheduling availability prior to June 30th. We don't want to wait to that final deadline. But I am aware that Ms. Goodwin will be out of the office, so I'll be coordinating with Scott to ensure that we have the staff present that we need. So that's a kind of a little bit of old business and new business. Does anyone else have anything else for new or old business?
This is possibly new business. I was gonna do it for my organization, but I think the school district should do it. St. Joe and Lakeshore are fundraising with those signs that says, I love St. Joe Public Schools, I love Lakeshore Public Schools. Benton Harbor, we don't have anything. I know last year or earlier this school year, when the kids were going to Michigan, University of Michigan, I don't think it was enough funding or something. That could be a fundraiser. We need to get on that ASAP as a marketing standpoint, and let's just think beyond billboards.
And I think that's an amazing idea because even if the person has a student that may attend another district, they are more than likely a graduate of Benton Harbor area school. So that probably would be a great fundraising idea. Secretary Triplett.
One thing too, we do have alumni all over the country.
Mhm.
That's not in the mix of all of this, whatever, where we are right now. And they have a genuine love for Benton Harbor area schools. And they are doctors and lawyers and attorneys and politicians all over this country. When I ran for the school board, a lot of the support, the majority of the support that came for me, not outside of the vote was the most important thing, but as far as supporting, being able to get signed, things they like, you know, we're proud of you. And they support it in many different ways. I think that's an absolutely amazing idea. Also, we have a lot of people that come in and out of here that do things in and out. The Boys and Girls Club of America, they do things. The Whirlpool, not just different organizations that do things. Hopefully they would be interested in supporting our school district as well.
Each of our municipalities.
Each of our municipalities, you know, going out to St. Joe Township, Millburg, all of our different municipalities, some of our churches that have kids that go there. I think that would be a great thing for you to spearhead too. And I got your back. I'll support you. You.
I
We
want
can
the
do
school
things.
district to do it.
Yeah.
Because if I do it, it's going to my organization. I'm just being real with you. So I'd rather for the school district to do it. I'm gonna give y'all a deadline by June 30th. If I don't see that, y'all gonna see it. No. I'm just-
All right, any other old business? Hearing none, great job on a very efficient meeting, and thank you to our chiefs. We're gonna proceed with board member announcements and comments. Trustee Buchanan, do you have anything for today?
Yes, I would thank Liz for the nice sandwiches. When sometimes you have to laugh a little bit, but you know, I was in line all day today, about 12 to get some gas. They're giving me free gas. And my car went down. I think I'm gonna take no chance. As soon as I got home, they had to push me to the tank to get the gas. and Miss Robinson called. But Mr. Scott and Mr. Gummer, you know, they don't never complain about nothing, but they sit here, do all that meeting and arguing. Liz, she's a wonderful lady. She called me from home, from my cell phone. Don't forget, Miss Buchanan, I won't. And sometimes I think, why everybody that comes in this room should be like that. But that's not gonna happen. And then I was watching the news, 57, who I see on TV, what's her name? Rocket Martin. She's sitting at a computer. So, I was invited to that, but I didn't get to come. But that thing gonna happen. We have to be on one accord, and we got to accept each other. Because when Mr. Triplett should be tired, he was there in the sun getting that gas away. But I appreciate it. There are people that want to do. I got borrowed out because I wasn't in the, why you went at your pageant? Why you went this? Sometimes things happen to you, you can't explain it. But then this is the problem with me. I gotta tell them, you don't know my story, so you can't tell it. So just take what I say, I'm good. But we're gonna get better and better and better. And let's pray. You know, I don't know if you guys, I met him. He passed away. He was 94 years old. When I met the Upward Bound program, Merlin, what was the man name? Merlin, I can't think of it. But he donated a lot of money and stuff to Vietnam. But we're gonna be okay. Let's continue to love one another. Let us get out sort of early so Liz and Mr. Scott. I'm not looking out for Liz. Mr. Scott can go home early. So, and like I said, everything else going fine with me. Thank you.
Trustee Bowen.
Before we go any further, we did lose another mayor. If we can take a moment of silence. He was a mayor for 2 terms, a city commissioner. His wife was on the school board. And, you know, when I first moved here, part of the development by Morton Hill was part of his legacy. When we had the riots, he was the mayor. So we've lost Mayor Charles Yarbrough, and I'm going to ask if we can do a moment of silence, please.
Say his name. Did you say his name? I know. Oh, yeah. Somebody call me right now.
Okay, thank you. I don't want the message to be that I don't support you guys, Liz. I'm full, I mean, this, I'm gonna go on vacation with you, save me some space. But Gail and Scott, I don't want you guys to think I don't support it. It's just on principle. And I voted on principle. That's why I voted no, but I fully support what you guys are doing. I understand, you know, things have to be done, but when you put your line out, you got to stand your ground. So that's it on my end. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Trustee Bowens. Trustee Rocket Martin.
You know what, I am just so thrilled these past 2 meetings that we've had. I love the way in which we are conducting our meetings and the efficiency in which we are getting board business taken care of. And so I applaud the board for that. I applaud us for that. And for things moving along, and we're taking care of the things that we need to do for our school district. And that's my comment.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett.
I too would just like to say something about Mayor Charles, Mickey Yarbrough. Being a young Black boy growing up in the 60s here in this community, and all of the footwork, legwork, what he did for us as young men in the community is you can't even measure up to it. You know, he was a juvenile, worked through the juvenile courts for years. And so I didn't have an opportunity to work directly with him because I didn't get in trouble like that, but he was always in our school. He graduated from Benton Harbor High School.
Mm-hmm.
He was on, I think, the state championship basketball team with Chet Walker. And he was a mayor who was born, and he loved Benton Harbor. As Trustee Bowen said, Mamie Yarbrough, Mrs. Yarbrough, she was a Nunley, and the Nunleys grew up in Little Italy, the part of town where the African Americans lived in the 50s and the 60s. It was called Little Italy, where the Blacks and Italians lived. And my family grew up there, so the Nunleys and the Archibalds and the Halls and Hortons and Robinson, Renee Robinson, and all of their families and different things. We grew up in that section of town. We had a lot of pride, and that's all. You know, I will be praying for Ms. Yarbrough. Also, I had the opportunity as the Tiger mascot to cheer alongside his daughter, Dawn DeLynn Yarbrough. So I'm looking forward, even though it's a sad occasion, to seeing DeLynn. I know she'll probably be here from Italy if she's not already back. but we have a prestigious alumni. And, you know, I too, one thing that as murky as it may seem, I have all the confidence in the world in this Board of Education. I really honestly do. And I might talk my trash and, you know, we might not always agree and we don't have to, but when I look down the line and what everybody brings to this table, even through differences, this right here can be a powerful Board of Education. I'm excited about us moving. To me, I wanted to say to the Board of Education, each one of us look at things differently. Mr. Buchanan, that paper really disturbs me, please.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, yeah, you almost made me lose my train of thought. But you know, for me, you know, with us being ready on the 1st of July, having somebody in position on the 1st of July was very critical to me, regardless to what was on prior to, how we did it, how we were dealing. I hope that, or how we operated. And I think even in that, we operated out of genuine concern, you know, in this transition. I do want to wish Dr. Townsend the very, very best as he go forth. And I am excited about Dr. Butts coming in and doing this work, carrying us, leading us in this transition. I encourage everyone to wrap their arms around him from central administration, from the Board of Education. Like MASB say, sometime it'll be 4-3. You might be in the 3 and you might be in the 4. Sometime it'll be 6-1. You might be the only one. But when we get through with what it is that we have done here, it is our responsibility to make sure that we do everything that we can do to ensure that this district becomes the well-oiled machine that I am accustomed to. The 22nd of June, 44 years ago, I graduated from Benton Harbor High School. And you saw, I put my picture up of my class, and I was the class president, and the stadium was full. The whole stadium, probably 5,000 people were at that graduation. We graduated the 22nd of June because we had a teacher strike and we had the storm of 1978. And we had to make up those days in school, and we really had to come back the 23rd to pick up our diplomas, whatever our people qualified and get certified. It is great to be a BHHS type. It really is. And so I'm looking forward. I hope this next week that we get all the transition. I did send some emails out to the president, to the chairman of the finance department, making sure, and Mr. Johnson, and whether you have just some questions that I had. So hopefully that we'll have all of our transition when the first come, everything is ready to go. But thanks again, and it's great to be a BHHS. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett. So I'll wrap us up. So I am extremely saddened by the loss of Mr. Charles Yarbrough. This is actually my first time hearing of it here at this meeting. And so those on the board that know me know that the Yarbroughs are very special to me. Mamie is a mentor of mine. And so I will definitely be reaching out to her, praying for the family. I think what they represent as a couple, the achievements that they've made and what they've extended their voice and efforts to is something that is nearly unmatched in this community in recent days. So I will definitely be praying for them and keeping them in my thoughts and reaching out in support, whether it's by phone or driving over there after the meeting and checking on her. So definitely keep them in prayer. Also would like to tell our chiefs that I think you're absolutely amazing. And I think that there is strength in the 4-unit team that you all have. There's magic in there. And I know that you all have the ability to be a stable unit for this district, no different than table legs are to a table. And so one of the things that I've said in conversations with Barry and Risa is that our chiefs are still here. There's stability in our chiefs and what they each bring to this team. I know that we'll be able to move forward no matter who is selected for the superintendent role, and that was before we had even made any decisions. So I believe in each of you all. I honor you. I appreciate you. And as Secretary Triplett said, I know sometimes coming from the board table, it may feel as though we may say that there are concerns, but please don't take that to mean that we do not believe in you and your work and appreciate everything that you offer. So I thank you and appreciate you for going through this transition with Benton Harbor Area School and just everything that you brought, as well as Liz. We send you God knows how many emails. And you have been a staple for Dr. Townsend, and I'm pretty sure that he's expressed his gratitude, but I just want you to know that we're thankful for you as well. And I think that often when you have a leader that is charged with being the voice of the community, people don't see all of the pieces of the puzzle that stand between that leader to make them as strong as they are. So I want to take an opportunity to recognize that strength today and just thank the board for your support of each other and our administrative team and our leadership and our teachers in fighting to ensure that we have the best tools feasible for Benton Harbor Area Schools so we can ultimately reach the goals as indicated in our strategic plan. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up my comment. I appreciate everyone greatly, and I will call for a motion to adjourn. The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Bowens,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes,
Trustee Rocket Martin,
yes.
motion carried, meeting is adjourned.
The meeting is officially adjourned at 6:15 PM. Thank you all.
Oh my gosh.